What's going on, everybody? Shane here with Oversplay Gaming, reporting in for KNAC, and today I'm joined by, once again, Christian Larson of Necrofier and many other things, but we're going to focus on that today. How the hell you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Now, it's been a great year for Necrofier. Congratulations on the Metal Blade signing. You had a cool Decibel magazine cover, which was sweet.
That was unreal.
Yeah. So how is this new transition into Metal Blade? I mean, that must be a pretty big thing. Bet you're stoked for it.
I mean, really excited about Metal Blade. It's Metal Blade. I think I have to explain it. I'm really excited about doing the record with them. I think they'll do everything the way I've been wanting, like, our records to be promoted and things like that. And also, I like all the people there. So it's one of the places I would really like to go after we left Season of Mist. So excited, there's other options to do things, except this is the one I really wanted.
You know what? When it works out like that,
yeah.
What more else can you ask for?
I'll argue with stuff when it's like, cool, this is what I wanted to happen. Oh, it happened. Oh.
I know, that's fucking great. And speaking of that, Transcend into Oblivion comes out February
27th.
But it's coming out soon.
Yeah, coming out soon.
Now, I know you've talked in earlier about Necrofier's beginnings and motivation. Has this Metal Blade signing changed that? Do you have more of a oh shit, I can do a lot more with their backing? Do you feel like your vision with the band is going to change and get bigger in a sense?
What I want us to do and working on usually kind of evolves with what's been happening, or we'll come up with new things that try to get us. It's like there's long-term things that would like us to do that I'm always shooting for, but then when more things happen, it opens more doors and other things for us to go, like different countries to play, things like that, festivals and things. I mean, in the course of doing things, it's not just straight music related, more us playing shows.
Of course, bigger tours, stuff like that, which is great.
We're going to Europe this year.
Hell yeah.
So it'll be the first time for us. Working on some tours for the US. Already got a couple festivals, playing with Acid Bath, things like it. And a lot of good stuff coming up.
Exactly. We'll get to some of the other shows because that Acid Bath show is going to be a pretty big one.
Yeah, that Acid Bath show is going to be nuts.
Yeah, I know you're a huge fan. So now you said this album ended up where you wanted to go, meaning which I feel like you're pretty satisfied with this recording and everything, right? I know you split your time between Houston and Brooklyn this time.
No, this time. Oh, so Joel in Brooklyn mixed it there, and we went up mixed, but we recorded everything at either at Dauber's studio. And then at our friend Chris's studio that's called Southwing Audio. We did drums and vocals there, and a couple some of the stuff you hear on the interludes, like the big percussive things, and then we did a lot the guitar tracking and then the synthesizers afterwards at Dauber's place. I feel like we really captured how we sound live on this record opposed to our other records. Other records sound sound like we recorded in a studio, and all that. There's nothing wrong with that, except there's a more unhinged rawness to this album, in sound, and I feel like how it resonates. Yeah. Also, we've been talking about using synths a lot more, to a certain extent because Dauber's well versed in all sorts of musical instruments, especially piano and other things. It was really cool to incorporate that a lot more on this record than kind of just minimalistically I think we did on the last couple.
Yeah, I know the last one specifically. I even pointed out there was some creepy horror, elements where it sounded really like a horror movie intro, and you were trying to go for that feel, which was killer, Also, it seems like you said this album you had is built around the number 3. 3 acts, 3 suites, 3 instrumentals. How was that planned? And that sounds pretty interesting. How'd you go about that?
Third record.
Yeah.
It's some of that was planned, some of it just happened. So it's one of those things. It's where you can watch it, and I feel like it's magic happening just because it directs itself that way. If that makes sense, to easily explain it.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You're like, third record, let's just do it all like that,
I do like it when one thing is done a certain way, and then the others start to align without you trying.
It definitely seems like you went for more of a storytelling aspect with Gax. How'd you try to sequence that on the record into one musical journey?
This record was based on one concept, and there's different parts you could break up it into, and then but I never really even thought about breaking it up. I think Dauber suggested that, and then we kind of moved into. Then I was like, oh, cool, I can take what we're doing and put it into this, and then the songs kind of had like that. The songs that had the lyrics and stuff and the way it was going was like that fit that way pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So then it was just kind of like sectioning it off, and then we had the interludes. We just placed strategic, like placed where like the interlude fits in the part and it kind of breaks up the thing, so it's not just say instead of it just being like three songs, three songs, three songs. Like I mean, I'm really excited how it all went.
No, I'm excited to hear it. Yet I mean, it seems like it's gonna flow really well, especially like you said, just having instrumentals to break it up. As you know, I was getting ready for this. You guys just dropped a music video this morning for Fires of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
How was that music video? I was just watching it as you turned on, so I didn't.
My old friend Dwayne, he's done a couple videos before I did that one. We want to do something different than what we've done in the past. And I'm really happy how it came out because he was like, "What are we shooting for on this one?" I was like, "I want to do something with like a, like classic kind of a '90s black metal aesthetic and things like that." So, I mean, I think like this is the best one he's done for us too. So I'm pretty excited about it.
When it came to writing this album specifically about the sound and tone of it, I know you've always wanted a blend because you're a huge traditional heavy metal fan. And you do love black metal. But again, it's just evolving because you're an American black metal. So how do you find that sound and differentiate yourself from like the European traditional sounding? I feel like there's a sound for European black metal as opposed to American black metal. If that makes sense.
I mean, I know what you're talking about. On some of it, I feel that it just comes from us not being in Europe, that it just naturally kind of sounds like that. We end up sounding different, and there's certain, I guess, I don't know if it's influences or it's how we grew up or, things like that, just musically that like come out into the songs that are different from, especially from Europeans. And America's a whole different culture than Europe. So, the overall vibe and stuff like that, even though, I mean, American black metal is obviously influenced by Norwegian or European bands, except it just comes off different from not being from like the same culture, more than, I mean, different part of the world for sure, but just culturally and other things I think really affect it, like how the sound goes.
Exactly, and it's a lot warmer by you too.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you know what? At least you're not going to get lost in a forest trying to take some cool band photos. How did you balance like the structure and like kind of I don't know, chaos this time around? Because I know you said you wanted to capture that more live feel.
I mean, some of it just ended up happening. There was some stuff like, so we didn't rehearse this record. We wrote the record and demoed it, and then we had never played any of the songs together. And Dauber never played drums to any of the songs. He had ideas what he wanted to do, and he just went in there and did what came out. I didn't rehearse the vocals like I usually do. Usually I kind of like work stuff out and listen to it and like that's what I want to do. I kind of did some rough sketches and ran through the song a couple times, but I didn't overdo how it was going to be because I wanted to see what just came out. The drums and the vocals especially, I feel like just kind of being unhinged and kind of done on the spot almost kind of thing is what kind of gives it that extra feel.
Like you said, trying to capture that live element. Did you run through it a few times during the studio at least?
I mean, yeah, I mean, like it wasn't like it didn't do like first take, but like I mean, with him, damn well near, and then some of the vocals, yeah, and and like there was like small things I changed here and there, but for the most part, I kind of knew what I wanted to do, and then I just was like, cool, let's go. There's benefits to doing both, and obviously sometimes it just doesn't work the other way, but it did work, so there you go.
Hell yeah, what else can you ask for? Again, everything seems to fall into place. I want to talk about the artwork. The artwork's killer. I know you had it done by Jose.
Okay, so Jose is one of my favorite artists, and he's done so many different, like, I mean, he's done for bands, he's done like Hordem Rife and other bands like that.
Yeah.
And but he's done like all these occult books and just like magic books and things like that for years I've been reading, and I always just loved his art. It was like one of the other things like I was talking about, like Right Time kind of place, where I liked one of his posts. I was like, man, we should really get him to get an art, and he started following me, so I was like, oh, hey, I'd be an honor to work with you on this. And he was like, yeah, I'm totally in. And then we proceeded from there. And I also noticed like shortly after that he like closed all his commissions for a while because he's been going to school and other stuff. So it couldn't have been at a better time kind of thing to make it happen, because otherwise it wouldn't have.
It looks killer. Did you give him any direction, or are you just like, here, listen to it, tell me what you feel.
I told him what the record was about, and then just let him go.
Nice.
A lot of artists, especially ones I like, I prefer giving them the concept, especially if it's something like an album cover and how he does art, to be like, hey, this is what it's about. Go to town on whatever you need to do. Like on some people, like if it's something maybe like a T-shirt and something with other artists, I might be like, hey, we want a T-shirt that's along the lines of these couple things. Here's the idea behind it. But with some guys like him, I just let it go.
Couldn't have asked for a better job because it looks fucking killer.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, it was insane.
Looking back at Burning Shadows and the Southern Night compared to this album, if you were to go back and like compare them to the recording process and everything, the sound and everything, how do you think they compare?
I think that the last album was a little more heavy metal. I mean, that's obviously the number one difference between the two. It's like a little bit more controlled and less unhinged, like than the new record. I feel like that, like the heavy metal really flexes on the last one a lot more than it does on this one, even though it's there.
Exactly. That's what I from talking to you, I feel like you went and leaned more into black metal side of things. Isn't a bad thing. I'm excited for it. And again, you're just talking about this whole conceptual kind of thing. I know you said you wanted to play it live and everything. Was there any elements you're like, let's try this. I got an idea. Let's check this out. Besides just the synths.
I mean, a lot of it was like a kind of like chanting vocal stuff is something I've been wanting to add in more. A lot of it was just ideas and stuff that I've been kind of demoing at home and working on. And then it's kind of, I feel like it all just worked out properly on this album. Because we did lean into like, let's make more like this album, let's lean more into the black metal angle of it. And like, I feel like it really came out like that, I mean, everything, like from the songs to the mix to everything. Because it's the mix, like I really love how Joel mixed it. It's kind of like a hi-fi, lo-fi mix of just, I feel like it's done well, but it still stays true to kind of being like this, the true spirit of like Sailor Rig original things that came out in this scene.
The first single you put out was a great track. Why'd you want to put that one out first?
I feel like we needed like something coming out of the gate just to set the tone, and that song just kind of immediately out of the gates just fires off. Like it's fast and it's aggressive, and I feel like that was the best way to go.
I know you've touched on the past with like your lyrical element, like, American Black Metal Project, your Americana, folklore, stuff like that. Was there anything that inspired your lyrics this time around?
This record's, it's based on kind of like a Luciferian Dark Night of the Soul. So that's why it's broken up in 3 sections. The first section is like the awakening. The second section is like the torment of dealing with like what you've discovered, and then like the last section is supposed to be the ascension. That's why it ends with that big ritual thing, like towards the necrofier. But yeah, it's kind of like like personal and spiritual journey through things and changing, dealing with it, and then like moving on to who you are after it is like is the whole concept of the album. I mean, the last couple of years have been a lot. Like a lot of stuff's changed for me. I'm always like overcommitting, doing too much stuff, and so a lot of stuff came to fruition where I was like, oh, okay, this is great, but also like super highs come with a lot of lows and things like that. So combination of all that's kind of what inspired the record, at least lyrically, and like intent and things like that.
I can tell by the way you're talking about this whole album, like you drew a lot. It seems, was it like therapeutic actually writing this?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff, and some of like the tones and other things on this and the melodies like reflect like how I was feeling at the time and things like that, like the dissonance and the eeriness without just being straight. I mean, like it's dissonance in like in more like a melodic way it works, but it's like that kind of feeling is like where I was at, or in that and that's what I was trying to like invoke with some of that, because just other stuff didn't feel right. And then at the time, like where my head was at, I was like, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. I was like, this is it.
I mean, hey, that's what music's for, You actually get to experience your trauma and dump it through your music.
Yeah.
So I want to start wrapping all of this up. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, always, man. Thanks for having me.
We have the new album coming out, and then we have quick thing is you're working on some shows, working on tours. I know on the 28th of March, I believe, you have the Acid Bath show.
Yeah, we're playing with Acid Bath, Obituary, and High on Fire in Houston. I mean, the show should be insane.
That is a stacked lineup.
Unlike the outside stage where Hell's Heroes is, so it should be pretty crazy.
Hell yeah. That's going to be insane. And then, real quick, Hell's Heroes coming up too. So if you're not...
come hang out at Hell's Heroes.
Yeah, go to fucking Hell's Heroes. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we take off? What have I missed? Anything else you want to say about the album?
I feel like this album's like a big step up for us, and especially in the direction we wanted to go. But yeah, go pre-order the record. Comes out next month.
Hell yeah. Again, Transcend into Oblivion comes out through Metal Blade Records in February. New music videos out, Fires of the Apocalypse. Go check that out as well. And until next time, everybody, stay heavy.
Thanks, man.